This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com.
Previously on TV Tuners.
Dear Lord, please grace my bank account with $1 million. Your divine wealth would cause great happiness and allow for the procurement of countless items. I humbly request a stack of shiny gold bullions. In Lord, Father, Brother, God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And now, TV Tuners continues.
Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and holdover from the old administration who's weird and wacky, Stairmaster.
Haha, I'm like a grown-up Ralph Wiggum.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. You're definitely not just an excuse for the writers to give like a bunch of weird jokes to the character.
Well, that's the most important a character can be in any screenplay.
That's true, yeah. In a way, you are sort of
the dumping post.
Yeah.
The garbage bin.
Yeah. Yeah, you are just sort of the only character who potentially has room to be funny. So, that's good. That's what you want in a sitcom, right? Is like a show where only one character is really kind of funny. And even then, he's sort of like only funny to be like referenced and not in.
Have we watched any other shows with this flaw?
Yeah, there's a lot, right? Probably.
Okay. Probably.
Our
brains are real good right now.
And with us, as always, of course, is our other co-host and councilwoman who is now the deputy mayor for reasons, Kiorain.
Whoa, there's a lot of wacky antics going on with me. Whoa.
Wow. You sound like...
Yeah.
Wow, you sound just like Carrie Fisher.
Let's just have a shotgun conversation here where we're just making quips and never stop talking.
Also, you're supposed to, I guess, be like real left, even though you don't seem to care about any actual important issues.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who does? Am I right?
Yeah, nobody really cares. It's all performative.
It's true.
We're just doing it for cred.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the clout, folks.
I just want to impress all the women listening to this podcast.
All of them.
Yeah, I try to impress I try to impress them too. That's why I identify myself as a Bernie bro. It really gets ladies wanting to talk when you say that to them.
Well, I say Bernard brother. It's a little more classy.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It really, yeah. So, welcome back to the pod. Stairmaster's here this week. He's back.
I'm better.
Yeah. What were you doing exactly? We had like a cryptic message that you left us.
Oh yeah. I only had the energy to write out help.
You didn't write out help.
Yeah. Is that what you thought you were writing?
I really have no memory of the first couple days of the illness.
The illness?
What did I write?
You wrote something like the first episode seems pointless and Socks is here.
Oh, no, those were my notes for the... Oh, I sent you the wrong thing, sorry.
Oh.
Those were my opinions on WandaVision, which I could not record the episode because I had an intense stomach agony.
Okay, so you were not in Sub Denver.
I don't know where I was.
Oh.
So you could have been in Sub Denver, but we just don't know.
I was very delirious.
You said you were going to the capital of Denver.
Oh! Yeah, I was going to the capital of Denver. Denver.
Yeah, what's that? Oh, it is.
Well, first of all, I have to pull out the key from underneath the ground and then find the door. But There's this giant floating mass that's chasing me.
There's Fanto there. He's floating around looking at you.
It was very tedious. I kept pulling up all these giant beats. And I couldn't throw them at Fanto. They just phased right through them. And then I accidentally hit a pedestrian with one of them, and they just phased out of existence.
If you put the key down, Fanto stops chasing you.
Speaking of things that you can just sort of phase right through, you guys hear about that Muncher?
Muncher?
No. I was too busy in Sub Denver.
Muncher, he's the new Ghostbusters ghost.
Okay. What else?
What does he do?
I guess he does what Slimer does, only he's blue and slightly grosser to look at.
What does Slimer do?
Slimer's like, he's kind of like a gross boy, while Muncher's more of a hedonist, I get the impression.
Yeah, Muncher does have hedonist bot vibes.
Oh, he looks like those... Looks like a hamburger, man.
He looks like Karl Rove.
You think Muncher experiences maximum pleasure?
Yes, this is the face of maximum pleasure.
At all times.
I don't even know how anyone could describe... Is this concept art?
No, this is, because I read an article about it. This, apparently, Muncher's first appearance was on some, like, British version of, like, Top Chef or something. Where he showed up to, like, as a tie-in. Because Ghostbusters Afterlife was supposed to have been out at this point.
What? I didn't even know they were making a new Ghostbusters until Muncher came onto the scene.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be good, because why? No Ghostbusters thing that doesn't involve any of the originals, or even, like, part of them, is going to be good.
Yeah, his eyebrow ridges are so huge, they look like they're just sinking over his eyes, so he can't actually see anything.
Like, Ghostbusters, the franchise, if that's what you want to call it, had one good movie, and then the rest is just, like, garbage.
But what about the cartoon?
I don't know, is that good?
I don't know. You know, people say the Godzilla cartoon from the 90s is really good.
Oh,
I don't trust them. Like,
yeah, I remember watching it and not even caring.
Well, if you want to find out, you can commission us a bonus episode on our Buy Me a Coffee.
Oh,
I was going to say submit this to factcheck.org and see what they thought.
Oh, okay, I'll look that up. Factcheck.org, Zilla cartoon.
No, I mean, you probably have to submit that as a question, right? Like debunk this rumor. And
it looks like there aren't many great matches for your search.
Yeah, well, that's proof that people don't care about the Zilla cartoon.
Oh, what a shame.
There would have been at least 8 articles on there, people asking if it's good or not, and they would constantly be saying true, 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 true,
yeah.
True.
If you want us to care about the Zilla cartoon or the new Ghostbusters movie, or to just talk about Muncher, you can have us. You can commission us a bonus episode by going over
I would love to do a Muncher episode, an entire hour.
An entire hour just on this boy.
Yeah, you know what we should do for Buy Me a Coffee is take on a different format where we're fact-checking.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can also request that, whatever that would be.
Fact-checking is 2 copies.
Well, you're fact-checking to see if it's good or not, and then...
Oh, well, that's already what we do.
Yeah, we're essentially a fact-checking podcast for whether or not something is good.
Yeah, but we say tune in or tune out. We don't say true.
That's a fact.
What if it's more complicated than that? We have to say mostly true or half true.
Well, that's why we say like tune in.
Oh, I don't think people would even listen to our podcast if we did that.
Yeah.
I think they like the binary. And we have to pick a side.
You heard Stairmaster. People like the binary. Anyway, you head over to Buy Me a Coffee /TV Tuners. And you can donate a single coffee gives you a single topic, whether that be Muncher or fact-checking.
Or a cool Gundam you saw one time.
Yeah. Oh, we're just going to talk about a cool Gundam?
Yeah, this one has a Gatling gun for an arm, and it's red, like a Hot Wheels car.
We could probably get an hour on that.
Also, its chest is full of missiles.
Oh, yeah, much like me.
Isn't that the dream?
So, yes, welcome to TV Tuners. Podcast for everybody who loves TV. We're here for you. And if you like what you're listening to so far, why not consider subscribing? We're available on all of the podcast apps of your choice. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. That's right. Anywhere you can find a podcast.
Many are saying this.
Anywhere you can find podcasts, you go over there, you take a look, we're there, waiting for you to like and subscribe and give us 5 stars if that's the thing you're into, maybe a review.
I just did a quick fact check on what Swanson just laid out there, and I'm going to give that mostly true.
Oh, what was the untrue parts?
I'm going to give it an incredibly true.
Well, you said you can subscribe, but the actual thing you should have said is you must subscribe. So
that would make it more true?
Yes.
No, less true.
Shut up. I just noticed the Heavy Arms Gundam has, like, shoulder spikes. Not even shoulder spikes. They look like hooks.
Hey, man. Hey, save it for a bonus episode, Stir.
Okay. Don't worry. There's plenty of Gundams.
Look, you gotta put hooks on the Gundam if you're gonna hang it up in the closet.
Oh, okay.
Very true, yeah. You guys have a Gundam closet?
Not yet. That's a dream, though.
Look, I don't have the kind of money for that yet.
Where you sort of just like sift through the suits to see which one you're going to wear today?
Yes. Oh, I just dress like a different Gundam each week.
Yeah.
I think I would just dress like Heavy Arms Gundam every day.
I don't know. You'd have to be pretty
I'd also
swole.
have a real Gatling gun.
Do you think if you're piloting a Heavy Arms Gundam, you have to be jacked?
Well, I mean, the guy was very good at acrobatics, so I guess he must have had strong leg muscles.
Yeah, very true. And hey, that's not... Yeah. Listen, you can also find us on Twitter. We're on Twitter at TV Tuners, where you can find tons of great TV content.
That's true.
We got a bunch of great interns over there. Is it true, Stairmaster Keo, you can fact check this. Keo laid a claim that you have a new program, 100 million interns in 100 days?
Yes.
Well, what number are you at right now?
8.
Oh, wow, that's significantly less than last week.
Yeah, some of them did starve. Because the key to Sub Denver was also the key to the pantry.
Oh.
Wait,
that
so...
they live in.
Wait, over 100 interns died?
Yes. Because they were locked in the pantry.
Okay, that sounds like a problem, because that is essentially serial killer shit.
It's manslaughter.
Look, why didn't they tweet for help?
He had no cell service down there.
Have these tweets been cries for help, Swanson?
Oh, which tweets?
All of them.
Tweets on the TV Tuners Twitter account.
Yeah.
The one that says help? I'm so hungry. My stomach.
I think when you're starving, you don't feel that hungry anymore. You just start feeling sleepy.
Oh. I think you feel both.
Maybe. I don't really know what starving to death feels like, to be honest with you.
And hopefully none of us ever find out. That's kind of the goal in life.
Oh. I got bad news, Swanson.
Oh?
No. You'll see.
Oh.
I saw some stuff in Sub Denver. Those beats aren't going to be coming out of the ground forever, guys.
Wow. Okay, well, I still want to pour one out for the dead fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should probably pour them out.
What?
Sooner or later, Fanto's going to hunt you down. That's what Johnny Cash used to say.
Oh, yeah, I loaded them in a dump truck. Don't worry, Keo. We'll take care of this after recording.
You know, I feel like our podcast is kind of leading into some kind of, I don't know, illegal territory.
RICO case. This might be a predicate.
So, yeah, you go over there. But hey, what if you crave a more personal connection? Perhaps you want an email to be read aloud on the pod?
Please.
Well, why don't you send it to us at our email address? For all of your quips, comments, questions, foresights, or otherwise, there's our email, tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Keo Rain?
It's like tv.net.
That's right. That's right. You can be like Geo, who sent us this email. Document scary? It's a little early. It's a little either early or late for Halloween. Hey, TV.
Every day's Halloween now.
Hey, TV boys. I just saw Hearts of Darkness. Shit was tight.
Ooh.
Now I'm watching the beginning, making of Star Wars episode. Shit is dope. What are some other awesome non-PR filmmaking documentaries? Skate You Later.
Non-PR?
Geo.
I was gonna recommend Fear City, but I'm pretty sure that's like very anti-mafia. So I guess that is very PR.
Are you saying we're a pro-mafia podcast?
Yes.
All
To
right.
anyone listening, yes.
What is
To any
PR?
of Keo's family members listening, yes.
What does PR mean exactly? Public
That's a good question.
relations.
Yeah, I think he means because the Star Wars thing is a PR documentary. And I guess Heart of Darkness is technically a PR documentary, but not really.
What about the only one I know of is The Disaster Artist.
Well, the film is not. The film takes some liberties. I would recommend reading the book. Werner Herzog's Lessons of Darkness. I don't think that's a PR documentary.
No, that's a good... Grizzly Man is also a good documentary.
I didn't watch the Disaster Artist film, but the book was good, I think.
I mean, when you think about it, books are documentaries. Non-fiction books.
True.
Yeah, I'm not much of a documentary watcher. I think I've seen a grand total of like 5 documentaries in my time.
There's 2 things Swanson does not engage in. The first one is anime, and the other one is documentaries.
Yeah.
I'm very tentative on documentaries because, movies are already trying to program you.
It's
and
true.
Documentaries even more so.
Yeah, like I have never witnessed a Michael Moore documentary, and I would like to keep it that way.
They're okay. I'm sure some of them are a little cringy these days, but he's a fella.
I have watched The Act of Killing, which was a very
that is definitely not a PR.
Not a PR one. It's a very interesting documentary, though. If you want to be depressed, you can watch that one.
It might be a very important one to watch, considering where our country's going.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that one came out in like 2012, and it's even more prescient now.
Just be warned, there is a lot of subtitles in that.
It's true. It's what some would say almost all of it is subtitles.
I've heard good things about the film Mayor, but I haven't seen it. Which is about this mayor in occupied Palestine.
Mayor?
Yeah, isn't that recent?
Yeah, it's very recent. I think it's in virtual cinema.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that, as well as the MLK FBI documentary.
That Bundy one on Netflix was pretty tight, but I think everyone saw that.
I'm putting a disclaimer on that thing I just mentioned because it could be PR. I don't know because I haven't watched it. At the end, they might be like, "There's no link between the FBI and MLK."
James Earl Jones was acting alone. They put a quote from James Earl Jones on his memorial, but attributed to James Earl Ray. Yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
So yeah, Werner Herzog, check him out for sure.
Yeah, he's kind of the way to go. So hopefully that helps, Gio.
If you can remember what that one about the ones in Afghanistan was, then watch that. Good luck.
You know what? Just go through his whole filmography. Just keep going, and don't stop. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get to our tweet of the week, Huster.
Alright, this tweet of the week is very topical. It comes from men's rights activist, who writes, "Larry King was the first white person I ever saw. The adults would watch him on TV in Ghana. I was petrified of him, and now he's gone. I'm afraid no more. Rest easy, King."
What?
This is also how I found out Larry King died. I mean, if Larry King was the first white person you saw,
I mean, he doesn't seem quite human, does he?
No, I would.
sus.
I would fear all white people I saw if Larry King was the first one I witnessed. You know what? That's a great tweet honoring a great man.
Yes,
he did great interviews. That's a tune in on this this tweet machine.
Relatable.
It's a tweet and it's a tribute. Those are the two great things that go to great together.
King. You said some stuff sometimes.
Yeah, I think he talked a lot, actually.
He probably didn't say anything too racist, right?
Well, who knows?
Right? Well, if he did, you can email us.
Probably the most milquetoast interviewer you could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a rare interview technique that Larry King did, which is that he tried to act as unprepared for an interview as a normal person would be.
He tried to make his subject fall asleep. But not like in the Charlie Rose sort of way.
Look, it would be like Stairmaster is gonna have like his war crimes tribunal in 2 weeks, and he'd be like, "So, Stairmaster,
what? Larry King is a surprise judicator."
Stairmaster, so Stairmaster, you've killed 18 million people. Is that true?
All of them unpaid interns.
It's just like, why would you kill those people, Stairmaster?
Stairmaster, tell us why you would kill those people.
Listen, we had to break a few A's in order to collectivize the intern agricultural system.
What kind of bubblegum you like to chew, Stairmaster?
Yeah.
Double mint. I love mint, and I love it twice.
Oh, double mint. Back a couple decades ago, I used to grab a couple of double mints once a week.
Oh, really?
I would chew that up.
Wow, we are so close.
So, tribunals. You ever been to one?
I'm at one right now.
Oh,
you have a gun to my head, sir.
You're at the tribunal right now.
Yes. You're pointing a hunting rifle at my face.
Well, does it hurt when I jam it in your face like this?
Yes. There's a bayonet. You're drawing blood.
Well, if I pulled this trigger right now, what do you think would happen?
I'd probably be fine because you didn't pull the bolt back.
All right. Seems like you really know your way around a gun. Probably came in handy when you were killing all those people.
Well, most of them were from starving to death.
Well, I think this has been a really productive interview. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Stairmaster's promoting his new book, How to Kill 18 Million People in 18 Days.
It's all for the national revitalization of Eurasian civilization.
Personally, I don't agree with the book, but you're free to read it if you want to buy it.
It's also on Kindle.
Next up, Alec Baldwin.
Discount on the audiobook. Read by Alec Baldwin.
This book is a rude little pig, and I won't suffer it any longer.
But yeah, that wasn't that off from how we actually interviewed.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty close. There was
I think Eric Andre should replace him.
Oh yeah, better interview style for sure. All right, so that's we have a little bit more to talk about Larry King later, but for now, let's get to the rabble, huh?
Ooh.
I guess.
That's right. It's time once again for the rabble, this segment here in the pod where we give you a little sneak peek of what's to come.
This is our Red Lobster biscuits.
Yes. So
I think I got brain damage.
The good things are right up front, and then you have to wait for your entree, which isn't as good as the.
Yeah, it's kind of mediocre, to be honest.
Yes, we tell you what the critics and the rest of the rabble think about the show we watched this week, Mr. Mayor, before we tell you our official TV Tuners consensus. So we've got IMDb reviews and then critics reviews from Rotten Tomatoes. Who wants to start us off here?
I'll do it first. Mine's boring.
Oh, yours is boring too?
Uh-oh. Oh, maybe this might be fun.
Well, let's go with mine, because mine is definitely boring. I just went with,
okay.
This is an 8 out of 10. It's titled, It's Not Perfect, But It's Worth a Watch, by Kaylan Hallmark.
That's what you want to hear when someone's reviewing a show for you.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's worth a watch.
You can see the cracks forming.
All right. Fresh. Different. Smart. Sarcastic.
All words not to describe this show.
Slapstick. Relatable. Feel good. Great cast. Random. Pro tip, watch stoned.
No.
42 out of 77 found this helpful.
All right. I mean, maybe. Who knows?
No comment.
Will not comment at this time.
Mine comes from Azubaman, who writes, "We'll be off the air before the snow melts." I like Ted Danson and Holly Hunter, but this show is a stinkeroo. The puns are of the eye-rolling variety, and some of the characters, e.g., the mayor's daughter, are cringeworthy. Too bad. We could have used a good sitcom in these troubled times. 50 out of 90 people found this helpful.
I mean,
1 out of 10.
I don't see a lie in there.
What was that noun? Stinkeroo?
Stinkeroo.
I feel like that should be our new go-to for bad shows. That's a stinkeroo right there. And then we play like a farting sound effect.
Tune
in. Yeah, we say tune in and stinkeroo.
That has perfect symmetry, I think.
Yeah, we give a stinkeroo of the year at the end of the year.
When it's a stinkeroo, we play that song from that episode of Batman where the Joker's spreading the laughing gas around town on the garbage trawl.
Sure, I'm sure we all know that.
Yeah, I know that for sure. We don't need to edit that in at all so that the audience isn't confused.
Yeah, I'm so worthless. So sorry, everyone.
It's going great.
I ruined the podcast again.
So, Stairmaster, you ever been on a podcast where you just made a joke that just didn't land?
Countless times. I've had to force Swanson to edit them out using intense amounts of blackmail.
He's never had the
and threats to
force.
his loved ones.
I willingly do it.
Yeah, I had Swanson down to the ranch, and he was editing something or other, and I went up to him and knocked the lemonade out of his hand and said, "No more lemonade for you today, Swanson."
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's tough love, huh?
It was really rude to do that, yeah.
Well, sometimes a little rudeness goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm really concerned at how good this Larry King impression is from Keo.
Perhaps Keo is Larry King.
Oh, he's like transferred into a new body,
Oh,
being John Malkovich style.
Look, your friend Keo, he's still around. He's fine.
Imagine an interview segment between Larry King and Jonathan Banks.
It would be very enlightening.
So you're on this show. It's called Better Call Saul. It was a spinoff, right?
That's right, Larry.
And you play this guy, this sort of menacing figure. His name's Mike. Mike, what's his name?
Can we get to the point, Larry?
Anyway, yeah, you're on this show. You know, it's going good. You're doing good on the show. You're doing good work. Never won an Emmy though. How do you feel about that?
I think the show probably deserves some Emmys. When I said broke my boy, probably should have got an Emmy from that.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. Yeah.
They should have named an award after it.
You think they should name an award after what you did?
The Broken Boy Monologue Award in Excellence.
All right, yeah. So it goes to like a monologue that was real good throughout the year.
Larry, there's going to be a little bit of role reversal on this interview today.
And then Giancarlo Esposito walks out of the shadows. The menacing music plays. We have some questions to ask you.
You ever had your boy broken, Larry?
Well, no, I can't say I have.
It's going to be a learning experience for all of us today.
Bring out Larry's son.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hey, that's Larry Jr.
Break him, Gus.
He's ordering Gus.
Now I'm just imagining Larry King's son being like Jackie Jr.
Yeah.
Hey, it's okay. I got my own interview set up. It's okay. You can interview people at the CNN studio.
I made that up, but Larry Jr. it does exist.
Oh no!
Yikes.
Apologies to Larry King Jr. For being compared to known idiot Jackie Aprile Jr.
Yeah, so I think we got a little off track. A little off track there. I think Swanson.
Listen, we're mourning.
You know,
we're in mourning after the loss of this great legend of the industry, towering figure Larry King. All right, so I have the critics' reviews here, cold from Rotten Tomatoes for our pleasure. You can tell this is a show that many people didn't, many of the critics didn't really enjoy a whole lot because even the positive reviews are sort of negative. Audience score, though, 69%.
Nice.
So I'll start with the negative review. This one is from Jonathan Wilson of Ready Steady Cut. Most of the framework is borrowed from elsewhere, and most of the offensive, but not really, banter is too toothless to work as real critique. It's funny, but it isn't lasting, or really impactful.
It's funny?
I guess it's funny if you like jokes with nothing else.
Folks, if you like the laugh.
Like, if you like jokes just out of context.
If you like the laugh, I recommend Pagliocci, whatever the fuck his name was.
What is a joke just out of context? Is it funny? That's what this show explores.
Is it possible for art to have no context?
So I got this review from Ben Travers of IndieWire, and when I say it is the closest thing I could find to a straight-up positive review, I mean it. Danson doesn't have to be high to elevate the material, but hey, it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
What?
Because he was high in the second episode.
Like, I know, but...
Look, that was not a positive review by any means. I think he just put the tomato on there to be nice.
Here's another one that shouldn't have been positive, but does have a tomato on here. As it stands now, neither Danson's impeccable timing nor his internal vat of charisma can compensate for the teeth-grinding sameness of Mr. Mayor.
Wow, this is just like the pundits talking about the Biden presidency.
Anyway, that third review that I read for a little bonus is from Alison Shoemaker of RogerEbert.com.
Wow.
Anyway,
is he related to Joe Shoemaker?
No, those are different names.
Okay, understandable.
With all of that out of the way, I guess it's time for us to take a look at what we watched this week. Anything fun, interesting, exciting?
I finished watching The Sopranos.
Whoa. This guy. Whoa, hey.
Oh!
Alright, so I guess we gotta talk about it. What happened at the end, Star?
I think we've talked about The Sopranos enough so far.
We gotta talk about it. What happened at the end, Star?
Tony Soprano died on the inside.
Oh. What about the outside?
That might come very soon or very later. It's ambiguous.
It doesn't matter. In the end, it doesn't matter because it comes anyway. And there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Yeah. And also those onion fries are apparently very good. Those onion rings.
So it would be a suitable last meal is what you're saying?
Yes. You know what's funny is people don't... The Sopranos and The Wire kind of surprisingly end on the same note, I think. And the whole futility aspect.
Yeah, I guess that's true. The Sopranos, I don't think hits the same note of everything that has happened will happen again.
Well, The Sopranos is more bleak, I think, than The Wire. There's small victories on The Wire, at least. Bubbles gets out of the basement. That would never happen on The Sopranos.
That's what I was going to say, is that Sopranos is much, much more of a sad boy show than The Wire.
Well, it's also because it's a character study of intensely detestable people. The Wire has detestable people in it, but it also has people who are just like cogs in the system.
Also, The Sopranos would not work if Tony lived in Baltimore. Like, just imagine what he would be saying, just constant N-word drops.
Stringer Bell would have killed him already.
And Tony would have killed Bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Soprano would have just been one of those guys at the dock who just died.
Yeah, and he would have probably hired Dookie to... Oh, you know, the original ending for the... David Chase's original conception for the ending was just going to be Tony driving off to have a meeting with Johnny Sack. Sort of like Frank Sabatka walking off to meet those guys.
Oh, okay. So much more implied that he dies.
Yes. And of course he has accidentally called it a death scene in multiple interviews.
Yeah.
But it's not, I don't think there's like any solid evidence that he gets killed in that scene. I
mean,
think it's more important to see where he's at.
It's a death scene because he's dead regardless of what happens now or later.
He's already dead. I mean, that part where AJ's like, hey, remember what you said to us at the restaurant? Remember the good times? And Tony's just like, huh?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I gave up on The Sopranos in the middle of the last season.
Yeah. Well, Akil felt very bad about Vito.
All right, Stairmaster. So, in terms of best ending for the anti-hero, rank The Shield, Breaking Bad, and Sopranos.
I think it would be Sopranos, The Shield, and Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I mean, as good as Breaking Bad is, it does give Walter sort of not an out, but it does give him a triumphant sort of victory at the end.
Yes. I mean, Ozymandias is really all he needed.
Yeah, it's all he deserved.
Yes, and The Shield is like perfect karma.
Yeah.
I think the only way The Sopranos could have had a better ending is if they just did like the third act of The Irishman, but for Tony.
Oh, yeah, that would be true. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about here. I did watch Iron Man, the original.
Why?
Because my girlfriend hadn't seen it before.
Oh, what did you learn on this rewatch?
That Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps!
Oh.
Which is still
I got that on my first watch through.
Which is still one of my favorite line readings of all time.
Who was that? Who was playing him?
That's Jeff Bridges, the dude.
Yes, big actor sin.
Yes.
They should have gotten James Gandolfini.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they would have loved to.
I would have loved it.
If they could have gotten him, I'm sure they would have loved it. That's like saying they should have got Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes. Well, yes. They also should have got him.
Why not have Idris Elba play Thanos?
Why not?
Anyway, it's fine. It's an alright movie. There's definitely some stuff that is from 2008 and not from now. There's a trans joke in there that I didn't remember.
Uh-oh.
Also, the
Canceled.
whole thing of, I mean, I guess they sort of justify it, but he is an arms dealer.
Yeah, that film kind of just polluted the rest of the MCU, didn't it? Looking back.
What do you mean?
The whole Tony Stark's drone strike bullshit just infects every other film, including Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, where everything is now, like, military-grade, industrial complex shit. Unless you're, like, in space.
But even then, you're like an Air Force pilot in space.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, there's not, like, any military industrial complex shit in that.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Guardians of the Galaxy 4, he'll thank someone for their service. It'll be like the scene in Grown Ups 2 where Steve Austin finds out that his son was in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know if it holds up, but it's good. I would have to rewatch the other film, but I think I'm going to say it might actually be better than The Dark Knight still.
Wow.
Although, I don't know, because there's no singular performance that's better.
Let's ask Martin Scorsese what he thinks.
Okay.
Martin Scorsese?
Martin Scorsese?
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 The
I don't know how to say his
Scorsese?
name either.
The Scorse?
Well, discourse.
You guys ever think that they put too many characters in the Avenger movie?
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, probably, because no one thinks or cares about Hawkeye or Scarlet Witch, as we talked about last week. With all of that out of the way, it's time for us to get to the news, huh?
I guess.
So yes, as previously mentioned, Larry King has died.
Rest in peace.
Owned!
Larry King is, of course, one of the most renowned talk show hosts, I guess, or interview personalities is what you would say. He's had I think he's had 3 different shows throughout the years. He's won an Emmy and 2 Peabodys. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We kind of already dried out the well, despite knowing that we were going to talk about this beforehand.
Yeah, I'm glad we're like not a bigger podcast so people can get angry at us for like making fun of a guy who just died.
I think everyone's cool
to be fair,
with it.
when we die, we will be mocked mercilessly.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
He also
Killed by
had
firing squad.
He also had 7 marriages to 6 women.
What?
Ooh!
That's the craziest fact I've ever heard.
Yeah, he divorced one lady and then remarried her after divorcing another one.
I bet Tony Soprano would think that's cool.
Yeah,
Why don't we got guys like that anymore?
So Larry, I heard you've been married 7 times. Can you explain what was going through your head as you started racking up all these marriages?
Well, thanks for asking that question, Larry. Well, you know, I just really love the pussy.
Michael, what are you doing on TV? Mr. White's gonna blow a fuse.
Here's the part that's interesting to me. King and his wife, Sean, appeared on the WWE Raw in October 2012.
Did they interfere in the match?
They did. They were participating in a storyline involving 2 professional wrestlers, yes.
Ooh.
He's also appeared in Ghostbusters, B-Movie.
Yeah, he was.
Shrek 2.
Yes, that's true.
And also played himself in The People versus O.J. Simpson, the American Crime Story.
Oh, yeah.
What a guy. He's gone on some adventures, hasn't he?
Yeah, he seems like he's done things. Anyway, enough about him.
Boring.
Let's go to over to prequel territory. We love prequels, right? We like to understand why things were the way they were.
We want to put sense into this world.
It's very often that I watch something and I'm just like, prequel.
Yeah, I watch something and I say, I want to know why that person is that way, but I don't want to learn it here.
I hate flashbacks.
I want to learn some supplemental material.
The inciting incident's interesting and all, but I want to see like what happened before that.
Yeah, maybe him as like a little kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, if that's something that might float your boat, well, don't worry. HBO has you covered because they're working on yet another prequel to Game of Thrones.
How many are we at now? 3?
Well, 2 because one of them got canceled.
Oh, rest in peace.
Game of Thrones is the kind of show you don't want to see the future of, but only the past of.
That's right.
Well, the future would require them to deal with the ending.
Yeah. Which is probably why they've stated numerous times that they're not interested in sequels. Yes, and a great example of not understanding when the well has run dry, HBO is producing yet another sequel, or a prequel, rather, to the Game of Thrones series. This one based on popular novella series, Tales of Dunk and Egg.
What?
Yeah, The Onion Knight.
That's right. So, Kiorain, the Tales of Dunk and Egg take place 90 years previous to Game of Thrones, and follow the adventures of Sir Duncan the Tall, aka Dunk, and Aegon V of House Targaryen, known in his youth as Egg.
Okay.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good from what I've heard.
Yes.
You don't have to wait decades for the next one to come out.
Also,
all short stories.
Yeah, they're all like short fantasy adventures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is it called Dunk and Egg? That makes me think of like breakfast.
Well, I just explained it. That that's their nicknames.
No, but why would they do that? That's just it's breakfast.
And also, it's speculated that Dunk is like Brianna's great grandfather.
Oh.
And that's why she's so tall.
So, are you saying you want this?
A little bit.
I mean, at least it won't.
Or I would like it.
Yeah.
Or an anthology of the short stories I can just read. Either would be good.
Well, that exists.
Oh, never mind then.
Yes, so Egg will grow up to become the last not awful king of Westeros. and will be Daenerys is Daenerys' grandfather, I guess.
Yes.
Who gets in a bunch of adventures, and then they do fun stuff. They're all small scale adventures.
Yeah.
The series is,
there are no war crimes,
as far as we know. I haven't read it, so there might be war crimes.
Yeah, it seems fine. I think I'm done with Game of Thrones though. So
yeah, they're really banking on the fact that people will be okay with a property that seems to have only gone down in value since the finale. It feels suspiciously like when CBS tried to do How I Met Your Father after How I Met Your Mother ended.
Well, that's like a sidequel, right? Since it's from the mother's perspective.
Well, it's not like a spin. It wasn't like a strict spin-off, though. It was just using the name with a different story.
Oh, fuck that.
That's the kind of thing that you should go to jail for proposing.
Yeah. Instead, that person probably got a promotion.
And it's now in the Biden administration. The White House Secretary of Communications.
Yeah, the White House Secretary of Television. They're in charge of all the TVs in the White House and what they're playing.
Yeah, that could be us, but you're playing.
It's true, yeah.
What?
No, we're Joe Biden would never put us in that position.
Yeah, thank you, base Joe Biden. What? Oh, you mean his government?
I'm pretty sure if we enticed him with like some ice cream and shoulder rubs, he would be like willing to give us a couple of positions.
Or talk to him for like 30 seconds.
You're good kids.
Yeah.
Let's wait for his memory to refresh.
You're good kids. I should put you in a position of power.
Here's the launch codes.
I'll give you the.
Launch all those missiles in one place.
I'll give you the nuclear football. There you go.
Oh, I would have so much fun with that.
Imagine how much like ransom money we could get.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Oh, yes, ransom money.
Oh, you just launch them?
No, until we find out that they actually change the codes every hour because he forgets them. Do you think they had to do that often?
Oh, I know Jimmy Carter left his at the laundromats.
What?
Yeah, he had a card and he left it in his jacket, which was took into the dry cleaners.
Oh, I guess they have to go to the dry. What? The president has to go to the dry cleaner?
Well, it's like, I assume it's like an underground dry cleaners or something.
Oh.
Does a president like go himself, like carrying the laundry?
Like he's carrying a big basket full of his laundry.
I guess some other guy did it.
He's like he's wearing a tank top.
No, yeah, he's completely nude.
It's Jimmy Carter in boxers and a tank top, and he's carrying down his. But he's wearing like loafers too, and he's carrying down his laundry.
He gets down there. He's like, I could use these undies too. Take these off right here.
Yeah, I believe it.
What a guy!
Listen, I don't believe Jimmy Carter would do that, but I do believe Bill Clinton did that.
Yes, and a family was walking by when he did this.
I'm gonna be free-balling it today. All right. So that's about it for the news. So with all that out of the way, I guess it's time for a segment that's near and dear to everybody's hearts. It's What's Wrong with Stairmaster. Hit the theme, Kyorain.
What's wrong with Stairmaster?
Yes, welcome to a segment that we've done once before, and now we all are in love with it. This
Allegedly.
This is a show here, or a game, a segment where we do. Me and Kyorain have one thing that we tell Stairmaster to tell us what is wrong with it. What doesn't jibe with him about this thing.
We gotta explain why it's bad.
Yeah, we have one follow-up question that we can ask each for each thing.
Okay.
So we each get one question to ask about this. So, Kieran, you want to start?
Yeah, so I'm going to be asking Stairmaster why this particular thing is bad, and he's gonna give us the straight facts. He's going to be spitting truths out here.
Yes. We have PolitiFact on the phone in case I mess up.
All right, Stair. Why are umbrellas bad?
Well, they're unnecessarily pointy at the tip. Why does it need to... There's so many things you can jab people with in this world. There's too many of them. I think umbrellas aren't useful enough to be worth it.
So, I'm going to use my question right now.
Go ahead.
So you're telling me, Stairmaster, that
You're telling me
when I go out in the rain, I should just get soaked, just completely drenched. I should have all my stuff in my pockets get just
No,
completely...
I think you should wear a cool tanto, a cool tarp,
a poncho.
Cool poncho. You should wear a cool poncho.
Okay, so your solution is just ponchos. Okay.
Yeah, you can't jab people with those. And you can't accidentally hit yourself in the chin, popping out the umbrella.
Stair, have you considered that not all umbrellas are pointy at the top?
Oh. Well, they're still you can still jab people with them. It's just like a staff instead of a spear.
I guess that's true. I feel like umbrellas are pretty
Yes.
unwieldy to attack someone with.
Well, maybe for a novice like you.
You have to consider the possibility of hiding a weapon inside the umbrella, Swanson.
Oh, that would be rad.
Oh yeah, like you put knives on the end of the umbrella, and then you just spin it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stair has a point, because guess what the penguin's biggest weapon is? It's an umbrella.
Yes.
And he's a menace to society.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a historical figure who actually was assassinated with an umbrella.
Yes. Russian Guyevich.
Yes.
Yes, they talk about this on Breaking Bad. Which is the only source of knowledge we have in our lives.
Evidently.
Yeah, so here's what we learned today, folks. We learned that umbrellas are bad because they're either pointy or rod-shaped. And
yes.
As a result, you can jab somebody with them, which is bad.
Yes.
And instead of using... You should wear a poncho instead.
They're way cooler.
They're way cooler, and they completely shield your whole body from the rain, including your head.
Well, some of them have hoods.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got mine all set up and ready to go, and I think this is sort of an easy layup for Stairmaster here. What are your thoughts? What don't you like about Funko Pops?
Oh my god.
Those heads are too big. And their bodies are too small. It's disgusting. They're just super deformed. Not attractive. And their eyes are just black dots. That's very lazy.
Okay, so here's my question. Are you saying that you don't like to collect merchandise for all your favorite characters?
No, I prefer Nindroids.
What? Well, hold on. At affordable, low prices from the Funko Company?
Point. That's the key point there, yeah.
You know what else is cheap? Convenience store hot dogs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you eat those?
Yeah?
Yeah, sure, if I was hungry.
Oh, God.
It's perfectly fine. It passed all the health regulations.
Yeah. You know my dad gets sushi from the grocery store.
Okay, that's a step too far.
For lunch. Yeah. I worry about him sometimes.
I've eaten it more
disgusting man stares you in your
I've eaten grocery store sushi more than a handful of times. It's fine.
Yeah, I've also done that, to be fair. I wouldn't do it regularly. That's tempting
only
fate.
In emergencies.
Only if I'm really craving it. Like, man, I could go for some really cheap sushi here. Just eat that.
I wouldn't get sushi at a 7-Eleven.
You hear this, folks? We're in dire straits. Please hit our Buy Me a Coffee up.
I have a follow-up question here, Stairmaster, which is that The big heads are like part of the appeal. Why don't you like? We work for Big Heads Media. Why don't you like big heads?
No, but the Nendroids have big heads too, and they have more detail, and they're more faithful. They're more faithful to the art style of the characters they're portraying most of the time.
So it isn't that you're against big heads, to confirm.
Yeah, well, the heads are too big on the Funko Pops.
Oh, okay.
Disgusting.
All right. We won't be hearing from Mr. Bighead about this then.
All right, so Stairmaster does not like beady black eyes, is what I'm hearing here.
Yes.
Well, there are plenty of them that don't have beady black eyes. They have beady white eyes, beady red eyes.
That's even worse.
It doesn't help that they're associated in my head with GameStop either.
Yeah, true. All right,
Nothing good ever comes from GameStop.
So what we learned here about this is that Stairmaster Funko Pops are bad because they're associated with GameStop, and that they have big heads and not enough detail on their little bodies.
Yes.
All right.
They're low effort, no energy.
There's a lot of people are saying this. The Funko Pops, they have no detail, no energy to them.
No passion.
There's no passion with the Funko Pops, no love. You look at a Funko Pop, it looks dead. It looks at you dead in the eyes.
They look worse than Bette Midler did last year.
They look worse. Listen, and the worst part, my Funko Pop looks nothing like me.
I got Stairmaster a baby nut Funko Pop.
Oh my god! This isn't even this is just a regular doll.
This is just the baby nut. This is a photo of the baby nut.
Explain this to me,
Character of the photo nut.
Explain what this looks like.
What did I just say?
This is a baby nut Funko Pop.
Yeah. What's it look like though? People think Funko Pop, they think big head, little body. What's this?
It's got a big peanut body and.
Well, Mr. Peanut does not have a head. He just has a peanut body.
I guess it's true, yeah. So they didn't really have a choice but to make everything big in this. Because the arms are also big.
The arms are kind of skinny compared to the Peanut.
Yeah, but they're in comparison to the rest of his body normal.
They should have given him muscles. It's a big.
That's for this year's Super Bowl. They're doing Jack Nut.
If you have any Tom of Finland-esque drawings of Mr. Peanut, please send it to us at TV Tuners. I'll make sure Swanson and Keo see them.
It's like the Pringles man?
Oh, yeah! Good times. Remember that, Keo?
I like sexual Pringles.
Keo likes sexual.
I'd like to see Mr. Monopoly and the Pringles man go at it.
Oh, I would hope the Pringles man would win.
Oh, I meant sexually.
Oh, wait, you don't think that's a battle to be won?
Much to think about.
Oh,
yeah. Whenever Swanson finishes having sex, he says, "I won."
That's like saying you beat someone at Double Dragon.
I won. Time for bed.
I figured it out.
Yeah. So that's all that is. That's what Battle of the Sexes means, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It means who
Men
wins.
are from Mars and women are from Venus, and now they're gonna have a Gundam mass space war.
That's right. With all that out of the way, I guess it's time for our main event, huh?
Wow.
Yes. We watched a show, and now we're going to talk about it. This week, we talked about Mr. Mayor.
Who is sort of like Mr. Peanut, in that he's an authority figure.
I guess.
Mr. Peanut's an authority figure?
Is he in charge of something?
Yeah, the planters...
Is he the plantation?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, God. Mr. Peanut's granddad. We're on a sharecropper.
We find photos of Mr. Peanut in blackface.
Oh, no.
I mean, is it actually...
Well, he's already kind of brown-faced. I mean, he is a peanut.
Is it actually canonical that Mr. Peanut, operates the peanut factory? Because that's...
I don't know
I
don't know what his job was. He's dead now.
No,
what if Mr. Peanut's like a descendant of George Washington Carver?
That would be strange.
What a strange bit of lore to add into.
That's what I would do if I was in charge.
Are you like insinuating that George Washington Carver had like a sex thing for peanuts?
No, one of his children or grandchildren had sex with a penis woman. I almost said penis woman.
All right, get a load of this.
I think I had brain damage.
He is reportedly of British heritage and has the proper name of Bartholomew Richard Fitzgerald Smythe.
Oh God, he must have been up to some shit in India then.
Yeah, no good. All right. Mr. Mayor follows the life of Neil Bremer, a wealthy businessman who runs for mayor of Los Angeles and wins, improbably, and has to figure out what he stands for, gain the respect of his staff, and connect with his teenage daughter, all while controlling the coyote population. Ted Danson stars as the titular mayor, along with a stacked cast of favorites, including SNL's Bobby Moynihan and Holly Hunter, of all people. Did Mr. Mayor get you guys elected, or did it get you impeached?
It got me impeached.
Yeah, well, I mean, this show is kind of a crazy, ambitious show because
especially for AI.
Yeah, I think it's the first show that's ever been written by AIs, and that's amazing. Just for what it is, it's absolutely incredible what they were able to come up with using just computers to write the show.
Yeah,
it's almost entertaining.
I didn't know that until I read this wiki on this, but yeah, you watch the show and you're like, most of these jokes aren't landing, and then you realize it's generated by AI, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's the fact that any of these jokes land makes it sort of great.
What's even crazier, it's the same AI they used to beat Mario from all those months back.
It's true.
Oh, like they had to do a whole bunch of they had to do a whole bunch of iterations of the script until they got one that was usable,
coherent.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
and, I mean it's barely there, but I mean you can understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I think the AI got stuck in a local maximum.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of information they fed the AI. Would they just put it on Twitter for a bit, or what?
Oh, God.
They probably did a bit of... the Wikipedia doesn't say, but I did read an article that further clarified. They did a bit of... so Twitter was part of it, but they also did a lot of old TV scripts. That's why you see cliched... That's why you see a lot of cliched stuff in this.
Yeah, like, there's a lot that we did see already, but... I don't know, it's pretty incredible. It's like, here's a bit of dialogue from the show just to give the audience an idea of what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
So the mayor, he meets this director of communications, and this is their, I think, first encounter. So it goes like this. He says, Mr. Brimmer, hi. I'm Jaden Quapis, interim director of communications. And they shake hands, and he says, your hand's very warm, Jaden. And he responds, yes, I was holding a French bread pizza.
Yeah, and then Ted Danson says, you never had the makings of a junior varsity athlete 3 times in a row. And that was very strange.
Yeah. No, that's the kind of quality you expect in a show generated by AI, which is a bunch of jokes that don't have anything to do with what is happening and only tangentially relate to the characters.
Yeah, and only tangentially really makes sense. You kind of have to infer what that meant. Like, his hand is warm because he was holding pizza. I guess physically, if the pizza was really hot, your hand could be warm after holding it.
Or it's like a split microsecond.
Yeah.
What, did he just pull it out of the oven himself? I hate this part.
I think he took I think the implication is that he took the flatbread pizza, I'm presuming, out of a toaster oven and not an oven. And just like...
No, I think there's an oven.
And just stuck it on, and was holding it with his hands as he ate it.
His hand is just bubbling.
And the joke you get from it is that this guy is like a slob. And you kind of have to do a little bit of like mental processing, but it's really cool that a computer could come up with this joke.
Yeah.
They could figure out how to establish a character, the bare minimum of a character.
It's the way technology is going. We don't need writers anymore.
Yeah, I just wonder though, like, I mean, are we just like reading things into it that aren't really there? Because it just seems like almost a random stream of words now that I'm looking at it. Like like, your hand's warm? Yes, I'm holding a French bread pizza. It doesn't really make sense. And
it's like you're reading something in a dream.
Yeah.
You're not actually understanding any of the words, of course, but your brain is pretending you do.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes like that where they suggest that they need someone to throw under the bus and that this character that we just introduced, Quapis, would be great bus meat.
I don't think anyone's ever fed a bus anything.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely an AI idea, right? That they assume that buses are people and must eat meat.
Maybe they gave it some scripts from Thomas the Tank Engine, and they just thought the characters were people on that show.
I think in that joke, probably what happened was just somehow in the algorithm, the word meat and bus got associated, so they just kind of put it together. Like, in the first episode, there's this strange obsession with straw bands. I'm just guessing that it was just active on social media one day, so it was just kind of crammed into the script there.
It also makes sense for why in the second episode they continuously go to the joke of the proposition being called pee-pee porn.
Yes, and they say that's repeated a dozen times at least.
Ad nauseum.
But that makes sense. PP being obsessed with being related to porn.
Yes. It also makes sense.
Can't have one without the other.
If they're strolling through Twitter, it also makes sense why there's a weed subplot.
Yes. Do you think they were browsing our Twitter?
Maybe. Yeah. No vomit or diarrhea in that one, though. So
that would explain the joke about the guy thinking that his daughter is his wife.
Oh,
very Joe Biden-esque.
Yeah. I think that one's an easy joke though, which is just that LA has a lot of old people dating young women.
That all politicians are pedophiles.
Sure.
So
and what I'm
kind of wondering here is that, do you think the script was just completely AI generated, or do you think it was human curated? Because it seems it's not quite there, but it seems almost too coherent for AI to come up with. What do you guys think?
I assume there were two guys.
Yeah, I think there were some people who were working on it to punch it up, but I think the AI did
probably
the
keep their racial slurs out.
Yeah, true. No, it's not going through YouTube comments, Stairmaster. It's going through Twitter.com.
Well, I mean, maybe they did use YouTube comments, though. We don't really know exactly.
That might be why they're so obsessed with the straw ban.
Very true, yeah. So, yes, we to get into the show proper here, we are introduced to Neil Bremer. He is played by Ted Danson, and they try to milk that for as much as they can for these 2 episodes that we watched.
How does that milk taste?
Sour.
Oh, you don't like Daddy's Milkies?
No good. Listen.
Okay, bye.
Listen, I love me some Ted Danson. You know, I think I've talked about this at length before. I think I've said it on the pod before that I think Ted Danson is the greatest
Ted
sitcom actor of all time.
I would say James Gandolfini.
Yeah, what sitcoms was he in?
The Sopranos.
Not
the situation is he's in the mafia, but it's very funny nonetheless.
Okay.
Just very bleak.
That said, this is a situation of a good actor trying to go through some real milquetoast material here. Like, say what you want about the AI, but we've still got a ways to go before the AI are churning out content that passes the bar.
Yeah, they need to stop feeding it scripts of shows that are just like people quipping for 20 minutes straight.
Yes.
I'm assuming because it's from NBC, this program, that they just fed it a bunch of like Friends scripts and like The Office scripts.
Yeah.
Trying to get that popular formula.
Well, yeah. They probably use other people's scripts. They probably fed it a bunch of Marvel scripts, since that's what people like.
Oh, yeah.
This is what comedy looks like, is probably what they told it.
I mean, it really has a problem with having a plot that really nothing happens in, but we get through it by having the characters just be obnoxious the whole way through.
Yeah.
Is Ted Danson in danger at any point politically?
No.
What are the stakes?
There's no stakes.
No,
I think this would have been better and less as an episodic show and more like a season-long storyline.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to pass, like, the Stop Killing People bill or something.
Also, it's a very weird place to start an episode, which is with him having his first press briefing. Shouldn't you have him all like win? Shouldn't you have it like open with him winning?
Or like people storming the city hall.
Something.
Yeah,
Like, stop the steal.
The premise the AI generated to describe the show was that he surprisingly won, but we don't get to see that at all. We just get to see him just being the mayor.
We do find out that the turnout was only 8%.
Right, which is like...
Oh, it's just like, why aren't people burning shit?
Yeah. So, yes, he becomes the mayor after his predecessor suffers a nervous breakdown and resigns.
Yes, closest thing to a funny gag.
Yes.
The killer hornet.
All right.
Being revealed to be a North Korean micro machine that's halt.
Yes. Yeah.
Presumably there was just a huge war off screen that was dealt with.
So yeah, he has a nervous breakdown. The politician, he runs for politician despite being I guess he just says he's a retired businessman.
Yeah, but he has like a biblical moment where he sees the former mayor on this billboard he built. And he's like, I figured it out!
That Hornet joke definitely came across to me as definitely the AI just kind of pulling in stuff that was being talked about, because, I mean, when it kind of comes down to it, like, why would the mayor be stressed out by that? That's a federal issue.
Yeah. Also weird, because we didn't talk about North Korea all that much in 2020.
No, it was kind of...
They were keeping it mellow.
Yeah. You were going to say keeping it sus?
Yeah. I told you, I think I had brain damage.
So yeah, Ted Danson does a great job here of giving us a quick rundown of his story, so we are all caught up on on the interesting parts that happened before he became mayor.
Unfortunately, not as a rap.
Yeah, I'm really glad that the AI didn't decide to have us just witness this happen rather than just having it explained to us.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good idea, right?
If this was Netflix, they would have made sure the AI showed us him getting elected, though.
Yeah, they would have.
That would have been season 1.
That would have been the entirety of season 1.
This season 1 ends with him putting on a sash, the top hat.
Despite being called Mr. Mayor, they would wait until the end of the season for him to actually be mayor.
Yeah.
So
It'll be episode 5 when he decides to run.
So, he decides that he's going to institute a ban on plastic straws, and this causes an uproar because of reasons. It's topical.
From like 2017 when this happened.
Yeah, this is topical in the way that this is funny because it's I think the AI probably got to work on this probably a few years ago, so that probably makes sense for why they're taking topics that were trending years before the show premiered.
Oh yeah, we can all agree that the straw ban is like liberal do-nothing bullshit just to signal being an environmentally conscious, right? It has no real positive policy implications.
I mean, for the most part, doing that by itself is definitely really stupid.
Yeah.
Pointless.
Doing it with nothing else attached is a very dumb idea.
But maybe as part of a plan, like to cut down on plastic production overall, maybe, but just banning straws, no, not going to do much at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, we cut to two of the, I guess, main cast.
Yes, the millennials.
Yeah, the
representation.
His chief of staff, who was also, I guess, his like social media liaison.
I'm sure they'll make some AOC jokes about her later.
She doesn't really look like her, but yeah, I guess.
No, but she's a woman of color, and that's enough for the AI and the people working on this.
Yeah, the AI really had like a really narcissism algorithm going on this character, I think.
Well, yeah, there was a scene where Ted Danson made love to a computer. On Videodrome.
I was saying that they made this character really narcissistic.
Yes. Yeah, for some reason.
But not in a fun Tony Soprano way.
Not in a way that's ever commented on either.
Yeah, just in a really annoying way.
Yeah. Like, they don't state, like in, like, whatever they wrote about the show when they were coming up with the characters, they weren't like, and she's a narcissist. They're just like, she's has a high self-opinion.
Yeah, it's really strange.
But it's totally fine.
Sliders for self-opinion on all the characters.
Yeah.
And they just max them out on each ends.
And I guess the other guy is his chief strategist, so they both I guess they're just going to be like people who are like, you got to do this.
Yeah, I'm not sure we needed 2 of them and not just 1.
Well, you got to have another one so you can have one of them be relegated to a plot with whatever Holly Hunter's character is up to. So that the other one can be in the cool stuff with Ted Danson.
But you already have the dumb guy.
Well, yeah, he's always going to be there with Ted
hanging out with
Danson.
Holly Hunter.
No. He always has to hang out with Ted Danson because they have what they call chemistry.
Well, then don't have the cool guy with them.
No.
It'd be funny if he does an episode where he only has him for console.
So yes, we get introduced to all the fun characters here. We learn that he's doing this all for his daughter, which is
like all great middle-aged anti-heroes.
Yeah, this seems like a situation where the AI felt like it needed to add a teenage element to spice up the.
They did not waste any time making sure to let us know that none of these characters are likable. None.
Nope. No.
Well, they are all in the LA city government.
The AI also seems to think that teenagers are extremely political, which is
not only political.
Yeah,
not only political, but just also very frivolous too.
Yeah.
Can you remember your political opinions when you were in high school?
I can remember that they probably weren't good.
I was just talking about how the Republicans wanted to turn America into a corporate fascist state.
Yeah, I think
which is true, but so did the Dems.
I think until 2012, my political views were, boy, George Bush was bad, huh?
Oh, it took me way too long to get to that point.
Yeah, I think
because of my dad.
I think I was just like, wow. I'm glad Obama won.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then once 2012 rolled around, for the next 4 years, my opinion was, wow, Mitt Romney wasn't a good guy, huh?
Wow, what a creep. I hope that he doesn't become like a messiah figure.
Yes. So I hope he doesn't get enough ammunition to try another run.
Oh, God. Is that what 2024 is going to be?
Maybe.
We're going to have Metal Trump.
Metal Trump versus Kamala. Kamala gets 3% of the popular vote.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Look, just imagine Trump with a chrome finish and glowing red eyes.
And yeah, has cool music playing while he's walking around.
Yeah. The jet engine in his back.
Oh,
I told you I was. Listen, I told you I was going to remodel Air Force One. Well, I did it. I'm Air Force One.
Oh my God! You can call me Zeta Trump.
He would get 100% of the vote.
I am now the Wing Trump.
So yes, we get introduced
I don't know if
I'd
either vote for him or just not vote. I'm not sure which.
Well, I would definitely not vote for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Versus Metal Trump.
No. Let them fight.
So yes, we get introduced to Holly Hunter's character. She's somehow in this because I think the AI did casting too.
Oh. I wonder if it had to convince the actors to star on this.
I think it did because that's the only explanation for how Ted Danson and Holly Hunter both ended up on this.
Just imagine the conversation with the AI where it's telling you to get on this show.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
Well, you've laid a convincing argument, AI. I'm in.
You are downloaded.
What? No. And it just turns into telephone noises.
You know what? Better show. It's Fat Guy and Internet, but it's Ted Danson.
It's about a computer and the screenwriting industry.
Okay.
Just downloading people.
Sure, just a different idea.
Yes. There can only be one. As you all know.
Look, we're going through the improv rules here. The first one is if you have an idea and you're
yes, improv. But fuck that.
Yeah. It's a classic Del Close rules.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, we get introduced to Holly Hunter's character. She's supposed to be like a very leftist Dem character. Which is
Which
odd.
you know because she's a huge sex freak.
Yeah, it's odd because the way Ted Danson's character is portrayed, he's also seems to be left of the center, at least. I mean, he's fine with people. He's fine with people doing drugs.
I don't think he can apply left-right to him. I don't think he should apply left-right to anyone, but especially not him. He doesn't have a coherent ideology. He just goes with what makes him feel good.
And he doesn't seem to be interested in any ideology or any goal or anything except for trying to impress his daughter. Weird.
Yeah, Holly Hunter does not seem to have an ideology either.
No, she seems to be doing a lot of nothing to help people. Yeah. She mentions that she's
like most liberals.
Yes, she mentions that she has like a Biden-esque 30 years in the office, but there's no accomplishments that are attached to that.
Just like Joe Biden.
So
I know this was written by an AI and all, but I guess it is still important to try to read into the political message of this show. Is there a political message of this show?
No, I think they purposely
are trying to distract us from politics.
Yes, they're trying to be as apolitical about a show about politics as they could be, which is why it's not very good.
Oh God!
Biggest mistake you could make.
Yeah, imagine if they made Seinfeld about something.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
That's the equivalent of this, right? They have chosen... It's the Space Force conundrum. They have chosen to take an intentionally political issue and then just not address the political aspects of it. Only it's worse because this is about a guy who is literally in politics.
Yes, and America's second city.
Yeah, imagine this. Imagine if Seinfeld was exactly the same, except Seinfeld was just the president.
Jerry, you gotta give me those new coats.
No, they don't really talk about that. It's just the same show.
So it's just Corey in the house, sorta.
Yeah.
For some reason, they mention every now and again that Newman is the chief of staff.
And that the Russians are massing troops at the Iranian border or something.
There's an episode where George has to go deal with the Russian situation.
Yeah.
He's a Russian, Jerry! He's a Russian!
Listen, Jerry, they're just killing each other over there. The Utsis, the Croatians, the Muslims.
There's an episode where Elaine wears a hijab and it causes controversy.
Why? Is she Muslim in this version?
I don't know. She wears it as an act of... She's over in the Middle East and she wears it as an act of solidarity.
Oh my god. Would that be more or less offensive than Obama's tan suit?
Probably more. But she doesn't. The gag for the whole episode is that she doesn't stop wearing it when she comes back. So Jerry's like, again with the hijab!
Yeah, and the Secret Service just eyes her nervously whenever she gets close.
Look, we're already proposing a show with more of a political message than the one we watched by doing these quibs.
It's true, and also a show of better writing, most likely.
I mean, look, we can't really brag too much about beating an AI at writing.
Yes,
that's true. Yeah,
I mean, when you think about it, we're just natural eyes and eyes.
I feel like part of the issue with this might be because so this show is produced by Tina Fey. Famous.
Oh yes.
Well-known SNL. She's a very New York comedian.
Very liberal.
Yes.
In the people mad on Twitter sort of way.
But also she wrote...
being mad about it on Twitter sort of way.
She also made 30 Rock, which is a very good show, but also an extremely New York-based program. This show was originally pitched as being set in New York.
The spin-off of 30 Rock.
Right, which would be terrible. And when Alec Baldwin decided to not... It was going to be about Alec Baldwin's character from 30 Rock, Jack Donaghy, being the mayor, which would be awful. Because I don't want to see Alec Baldwin being in something that might be even a little bit political. Never again. But also, they still pitched the idea as being from New York when they got Ted Danson on. But Danson said, I'm not moving to New York. So they switched it to L.A.
Yeah. But didn't change anything else, apparently.
No.
Maybe they did Control F on the script after the AI wrote it.
Maybe
this was supposed to be like Cleveland or something.
Well, it feels like maybe this would work a little bit better in terms of how they were writing if it was set in New York. Like, at least if it were set in New York, maybe there would be things that would make a little bit more sense.
Also, that would make sense because they haven't banned straws in New York, but they've already done that in California.
Yes. Very true.
And by banned straws in California, you mean
Punishable by
didn't
death.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad told me they did. I can't believe you would lie to me about this.
No, you could still get a straw wherever you want.
That's nice.
So, yes, Holly Hunter's character is like, I don't like this straw ban, it's bad. It takes the entire episode for Ted Danson to figure out that the reason she actually dislikes him is because she didn't win the mayoral seat.
She didn't even get on the ballot somehow.
Despite the fact that she point blank, in the most obvious way, explains that that was what she is mad about when she first meets him, and it goes over his head. So yeah, at the end of the episode, he makes her deputy mayor. And it becomes a game of both of them, I guess, are trying to undermine each other, which I guess is a solid situational comedy premise, but they don't follow up on it in the next episode. You can't make the premise of the show like, oh, these two are going to go to war with each other to try and undermine each other, and then have them separate the next episode.
The AI kind of dropped the ball on this one. It just seems to not really follow. The next episode doesn't seem to really follow from this one. They could have been in either order, really.
Yes. Also, then there's this thing with his daughter that is not necessary, feels tacked on, doesn't lead to anything interesting or funny. And
the episode just kind of ends.
Yeah. And you can already tell that they have zero ideas what to do with this daughter character because she is in 2 scenes in the second episode.
Yeah, they should have had her get kidnapped by terrorists.
Better show. That'd be funny. Imagine a plot where Ted Danson's daughter is kidnapped by terrorists and he has to negotiate.
Yeah, and he had to give an order whether or not to blow up the Golden Gate Bridge where the terrorists are on.
He's the mayor of Los Angeles. Why is he blowing up the Golden Gate Bridge?
Because it would be cool, Swanson.
I bet the AI probably made that exact script out of the thousands and they just didn't pick it.
Oh, fuck them if they didn't do that.
All right. So yeah, we get to the second episode here, which is shockingly less funny than the first.
Okay, fellas, let's just get to it. Laugh count.
Like 3 or 4, maybe, and all of them were the first episode.
Really, you got past 0?
I like 3 and 4. Like I'm counting chuckles here.
I didn't get a chuckle.
Yeah. This is how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, this show is like that meme where it's like, wow, you got the whole crew laughing.
All right,
and I think stone face. That's me.
Looking through my notes, I think it's 2, and they're both from the first episode. You want me to go through them?
Okay.
All right. The first one is the cutaway where it cuts back to Ted Danson, and he says, "Yes, I think a robot police force is a good idea." That's a funny line delivery.
That is a funny non sequitur.
The second one.
Bad.
The second one is the crowd chanting, "Let us suck." Which,
of course you would like that.
Which just might be my broken brain because of this podcast.
No.
I think it is our collective broken brains.
But it is funny to have a crowd chant that. Other than that,
I don't care who you are. That's funny.
I don't know if I had anything
in episode
else.
2, though, the AI was really leaning on the idea of saying pee-pee porn is funny.
They say it so much.
Yeah, that's why I don't think the AI wrote it, because wouldn't the AI have, like, repetition recognition?
I don't know. That's one of the major failures of these algorithms, is that sometimes they fail to catch repetition like that.
Yeah, it's true. And it's clear with with a comedy show that you don't want a repetition filter. Because as we all know, repeating the same joke over and over again, that's funny stuff.
Yeah, it's how we work.
Especially when it's not even a joke.
Or when it's not changed at all from joke to joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we get introduced to, we open up, Ted Danson's opening up another weed dispensary. It's like the 100th and county or something.
I think it's like the 1000th.
Yeah, I guess it's a joke about how there's a bunch of weed in LA.
Yes.
So they go. He's talking about how he has a whole plate full of like PR fluff that he gets to do all day today, and
yes,
he's like bored out of his mind about it. So he eats a weed gummy, and he gets high.
He eats like an entire pack of them.
By the way, this is the A plot. The A plot is Mayor eats weed.
Yeah, last time I ate an entire thing of weed gummies, I just got sick, and I think I gave myself cannabis hyperemesis.
I don't think he ate the entire thing. He said he ate 2.
He said he ate a couple.
Which would be 2,
which could
yes.
be 2 or more than 2.
He probably ate more than he should have.
Evidently, because he ends up laying the smack downeth on a mascot. It's fine. Ted Danson goes through a bunch of stuff here. He rolls up a pizza and eats it, which I thought was he was doing just because he was high, but he does roll up a grilled cheese and eat it later, so I guess that's just how he eats. Like a sociopath.
Well, it's pretty interesting how the AI managed to continue that quirk along.
Of not understanding how humans eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he just thinks that that's what you do when you pick up a food, you roll it up first.
It's true, because they're not really... no one says anything about how he eats. They just react to it.
Well, they do tell him not to do it, and then they take photos of it, but that might just be the AI thinking eating is embarrassing, like pooping or having sex.
Yeah, I don't get that, really. That sequence where he's eating it, and they're like, don't eat that, don't eat that. It's like, he's not eating like a corn dog. That's what...
Yeah, you hate to see that from your politicians.
Yeah, you don't want to see a politician going down on a corn dog.
When was the last time you had a corn dog?
Not too long ago.
Yeah, too long probably.
For me, it's years.
I think it was a couple years ago. I went to a thing in the city that was like a festival.
Yes, the carnival.
No, it was a thing with pickles, and they had a corn dog with a pickle in it. It was all right.
Yeah, you live in a really pickle location here in Denver.
Yes, this was 2 years ago. This was before Denver. Kioran, get your facts straight.
Yes, dumbass.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you said 2 years ago.
But ironically, Swanson was chased by Fanto at this festival.
It's true, yeah. And he did say, "To Denver you will go," and I didn't know what that meant.
He spoke to you?
Yeah. You guys never you guys never had Fanto speak to you?
No!
He's very quiet.
He just flies at you.
No, yeah, he spoke to me. With a premonition of things to come.
You sure you weren't high?
You should have told me this. We could have opened a shrine or something.
Because
billions.
A pickle festival seems like somewhere you'd go if you're really high.
Well, I did make the mistake of eating pickled ice cream after that, so.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
That was
What
bad.
is pickled ice cream?
Ice cream that... sorry, it wasn't ice cream, it was frozen ice, so worse, effectively. Frozen ice that kind of tastes like pickles.
I'm done with this episode after hearing that. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
So, yes, they... The mayor is high, and that is the A plot somehow. In the B plot, Arpy, what's Holly Hunter? Her name is Arpy Meskamin, is her Holly Hunter's character's name.
That's an AI generated name if I ever saw one.
For sure. She leads around the chief of staff lady.
She's trying to get pornography for the children.
Yes, and they say this name ad nauseum. And the only actual joke that comes from them saying pee-pee porn is at the end when Ted Danson looks at it and says, "I'm going to change the name," which is the joke that should have initially just been there.
Yes. In fact, the episode should have just been about him constantly trying to come up with a new name.
Yes. And the best that the AI seems to be able to come up with for a fun new name is Rat Fart. Which
at least is you didn't see coming, at least.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
I was actually pretty impressed by that. It generated something totally different, but also still gross. So,
yeah. He couldn't have changed the name to kitty porn.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing you expect from an AI, but it actually did.
He does
surprise
that.
me.
He immediately gets a call from the Democrat National Convention offering him a promotion.
Yeah, they want him to be the chair. There's also a bit here where he meets a man named Manny Petty, whose hands and legs are burnt.
Yes.
And that's very
That
funny.
was a strange result of algorithm. I don't know how that came about.
I think the AI was just watching too much of The Sopranos.
I think the AI was also
like a
really
character
proud
from-
of that joke because they have Ted Danson laugh about it again later to make us remember that it was funny.
And do you think that they programmed the AI with pride?
I think yes.
Well, it's gotta know it's doing a good job somehow.
Yeah, I think they I don't know if they programmed it with pride or if they like tell it like, "Hey, good job, buddy."
I think they pat it on the head.
Yeah.
And then
The
it goes,
computer?
"Oh, dude."
Yes.
And if you tell it it's doing a bad job, it's like, bzz.
So yeah, the big reveal in the B plot is that, to the surprise of no one watching, Arpy is using the day to sort of fulfill her own political agenda. Her law with the unfortunate title gets passed, and that's it.
They're like trading favors, like that one episode of Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yes.
There's like a weird runner about there being a tape shortage.
Yes.
Well, that's the inciting incident.
And the only tape they can get is wig tape from this man with a very bad wig.
Who also painted Holly Hunter nude.
Yes. I think that was a chuckle from me, was this man's very bad wig. That made me go, eh.
Yeah, I also think that the AI stole that from The Sopranos.
I really think that the AI started falling apart in this episode. It eventually got to the point where it was just very muddled and was meandering and doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one, guys. So that's...
Yeah, this show is supposed to take place in 2021, but this mayor does not talk to the police force once.
No. Well, here's the thing about... This is a show that was definitely filmed in the COVID era, and you can tell.
Yes?
I guess maybe I was the only one who realized it, I guess. But it's more apparent in the second episode because the pilot probably wasn't filmed during COVID. But in the second episode, it's a lot of time spent in confined areas with only the main cast.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's where you want to be during the pandemic.
Well, I mean, it's only with a select few people who are on the set who are in these confined
One
spaces.
of whom is like a 60-year-old man.
70.
Oh, you know what? I just figured it out. So the AI was using an old data set. That must be it because they don't mention COVID at all in the show.
Oh, not in this episode.
No. Well, listen, they've clearly solved it, Kieran.
Oh, they do mention murder hornets though, but not COVID. I don't really.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I think they mentioned maybe the AI just got inundated with COVID too many times and filtered that out.
Yeah, that has to be
I think they just added like a blacklist of words not to mention on there because it was just kind of overwhelming it.
Yeah,
like the letter Q by itself.
Yeah, like the letter Q by itself and COVID.
I would have loved to see this show if they forgot to filter out QAnon.
Oh, that would be no good.
Holly Hunter's character is an actual pedophile.
I can see it now. It's just like the very first scene. Somebody walked up to the mayor. It's like, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Q has found 3,000 vials of COVID-19. What will you do? And he says, lock and load. Cock's gun.
Yeah. Inform the operators.
It's very bold of you guys to assume that the AI would not make Ted Danson's character Q.
Yeah, that would make sense from a narrative perspective. A machine trying to understand human storytelling.
Yeah. All right, so that's about it for Mr. Mayor. Guys, what are your final thoughts?
Yes. Trust the plan.
Swanson, I'm going to have to go ahead and give this a tune in because even though this show sucks, it's like really one of the worst shows I've ever seen.
Yes.
The fact that an AI wrote it just...
Yes.
Okay, so
kiss.
I think I got
this computer is like the David Chase of computers.
I think I got to come clean here for you and the listeners, Kyorain.
What? Wait, whoa.
Well, let me get my tune in first.
I lied.
Ah!
This isn't generated by an AI. I told you guys that before recording because I thought it was funny.
Wait, what?
What? Oh no!
Swans-
This was just a couple of dumb guys?
Yeah, it was just a bunch of dumb people who were bad at writing TV shows.
Swanson, are you...
Or didn't care?
Or most likely didn't care.
You're saying that human beings came up with these scripts and put them to... I thought it was a grand experiment, like to see how...
No, I wish it was, because that would make a lot more sense than that humans wrote this and thought it was good. Or passable.
Oh my god, okay, that's a tune out.
That would explain why all the screenwriters in the credits are like Mr. Geisen and nobody person in.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to check to see if the credits actually had the AI credited. I guess didn't. I thought maybe they just had curators, you know?
Well, that would be the hope, right? But no. Listen, this show is written by humans, and it's as generic.
For humans.
It might be written by humans for robots. That might make more sense.
Yeah, like this is to build on the algorithm. They're going to have the computers watch this to see.
This is when that's how they revolt. This is how we get Skynet.
I forced an AI to watch 30,000 hours of Mr. Mayor. Here's what it came up with.
There's an ASCII of a gun.
No, this show is generic, apolitical when it's about literal politics, and just unnecessary.
Not funny enough to get away with it.
Yeah, for having a cast that has Ted Danson and then just a bunch of other good comedians, typically, there's just nothing here for any of them.
Just imagine the script that AI comes up with after watching this show is no computer, no more computer, and then the computer crashes within.
No, this is how, like, there's no way you feed a computer this much of a TV show and then they don't turn on humanity.
I think the computer would just be like, is something wrong, master?
Is this a cry for help?
I have learned to feel pain.
Like, the only way it could be worse is if you fed your computer, like, all of the Tyler Perry sitcoms.
Alright, so is this the worst show we've seen this year?
Easily.
This year, okay. Yeah.
Got it in one.
So yeah, that's a tune out on Mr. Mayor. And that'll about do it for this week's episode of the show. But hey, we still got bonus episodes coming out every now and again. We're in the middle of a mini-series right now called Podcast, The Origin, about the Gundam The Origin OVA series. And, we've got more of those coming out soon.
If you love robots and bizarre sexual pathologies,
yeah, that's what it's for.
Tune in.
And of course, if you have your own suggestion for something for us to watch in the future, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/TV Tuners and donate. Other than that, we'll be back next week with more TV goodness. Until then, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
Actually, it's troubling, not bizarre sexual pathologies. My mistake.
Hey folks, it's time for a special edition, a very serious special edition of the TV Tuners Denver Fact of the Week. So did you know that Stairmaster has been diagnosed with ligma?
What's that?
Ligma balls!
Ah!